Swift retaliation. Putin launches a Oreshnik strike on the largest gas storage site in Europe in Ukraine's Lviv region. So it's happened for only the second time of the war. The Russian intermediate-range ballistic missile dubbed the Oreshnik was launched from the Kapustin Yar range toward Lviv, again providing the world with an eerie spectacle. And if you want to watch the videos, I'll put the link up so you can. But I think you guys have probably already seen a lot of this. Here's some zoom footage maybe you haven't seen. Almost looks like lightning coming down, doesn't it? And this is something we'll probably see in the West very soon, including the United States, because of all the buttons they keep pushing. So it's being reported that Europe's largest underground gas storage facility was hit. According to the preliminary data, the main target was the Strategic Underground, I'm not going to try and pronounce this, gas storage facility in Styria. Capacity accounts for over 50% of all Ukrainian gas storage facilities. It is assumed that the Oreshnik, or another missile, flew from Astrakhan to Lviv in 10 to 15 minutes, covering about 1,800 kilometers at a speed of 10,000 kilometers per hour. Yeah, that's quick. Now here's the different types of storage facilities that they can have. Here's another picture of the possible configuration of the arrangement of the 36 submunitions canister in the Oreshnik warhead. So there's basically 36 canisters inside of one warhead. The timing obviously suggests that this is a retaliation attack meant to send a strong signal to the West. Retaliation for what precisely? Likely for several of the recent provocations and escalations together. The attempted drone attack on Putin's dacha, the U.S. seizure of an allegedly Russian oil tanker, and don't forget, the European summit signing of commitments to deploy both troops and military bases on Ukrainian soil in the event of a ceasefire. Russia had just warned that they would become legitimate targets, and a strategically placed Oreshnik strike in western Ukraine can certainly be construed as a message for that. As it says right here, in headlines we've been reading all week, Russia warns that they will consider foreign troops in Ukraine legitimate targets. It's just that simple. However, there's one counter-argument, which is that this could simply be part of Russia's systematic campaign to destroy Ukraine's energy infrastructure, and Oreshnik just happens to be the most effective weapon for that particular site, which no other weapon could potentially destroy. The reason is they call it Lviv here, but I've been saying Lviv this whole time, so we'll just stick with that, is out of range for the Iskanders and Duran drones and Caliber missiles do not have the penetrative bunker buster capabilities to pierce deep underground storage sites. The Oreshnik, by virtue of its Mach 10 kinetic inertia, just happens to be the only weapon capable of penetrating a deep underground site at that long range of a distance in western Ukraine, at least theoretically speaking. The other major consideration from the aspect of the strikes being a message to the West is that it was right on the Polish and NATO border. Many call for Russia to strike Kiev with the Oreshnik as part of the retaliation, but it's pointless to hit a place only a few miles from the Russian border with an intercontinental style of missile. The far greater message is to strike right near NATO's borders to send a message that all of Europe is now put on notice, with the Lviv gas site being merely 160 kilometers from Poland's critical Rezal base. Yeah, that's where they stage everything to go into Ukraine. That's shipped in from the U.S. and NATO. Interestingly, the official Ukrainian Air Force account announced that at 11:30 p.m. the launch was detected. Right here. So it took 15 minutes to get to Lviv from where they were launched. So 1,800 kilometers in 15 minutes. That's crazy, guys. So like I said, I'll put the link up so you guys can watch all the videos and stuff if you like. And then we'll move on to this part of the story. The Kiev mayor urges residents to evacuate. So it wasn't just Lviv getting bombed. The rest of Ukraine was getting hit hard too, including Kiev, the capital. Half of the apartment buildings in the Ukrainian capital have been left without heating, according to Vitaly Klitschko. That's the Kiev mayor. Klitschko has urged the city's residents to evacuate, stating that some 6,000 apartment buildings in the Ukrainian capital have been left without central heating. Klitschko blamed the extremely difficult situation in the city on overnight Russian strikes. Moscow said it targeted drone production facilities, energy infrastructure, and other military-related facilities across Ukraine in response to an attempted terrorist attack by the Kiev regime on Russian President Putin's residence in late December. I appeal to the residents of the capital who have the opportunity to temporarily leave the city where there are alternative sources of power and heat to do so, Klitschko wrote on his Telegram channel, stating the overnight attack became the most painful for the city of 3 million amid the Ukraine conflict. According to the mayor, nearly half of Kiev's residential buildings ended up without central heat after the strikes. An unspecified number of buildings have also been hit by water supply disruptions. He said the city authorities hope to restore central heating for some of the affected buildings by the evening. The situation in the city is further aggravated by heavy snowfall and low temperatures. Wow. Guys, this is coming for everybody at some point as things continue to escalate and expand. Prayed up and prepped up at all times. Then we have this one. Russia joins Chinese Iran warships for drills off of South Africa. Here we go from insiderpaper.com. A Russian warship arrived off South African main naval base Friday to join Chinese and Iranian vessels for military exercises that risk further damaging Petroia's relations with Washington. So the exercises draw together several nations feuding with the U.S. administration and come at a time of heightened tensions following Washington's raid on Venezuela. A Chinese destroyer and replenishment ship, as well as an Iranian forward-based vessel, sailed into South African waters earlier this week, ahead of the week-long maneuvers due to kick off at the weekend. AFP journalists near the Simonstown base saw the Russian-flagged corvette vessel pull into the False Bay. The China-led Will for Peace 2026 drill involves navies from 11 nations from the BRICS group of emerging nations, which U.S. President Trump has labeled anti-American. The United Arab Emirates was also expected to send ships. South Africa's Deputy Defense Minister Bantu Hulisma told Newsroom Africa television late on Thursday. Fellow BRICS nations Indonesia, Ethiopia, and Brazil will send observers, he said. And there we go. Getting ready for the upcoming war with the West is what they're doing. And then last but not least, for the war coverage, we have this. According to Hal Turner, according to sources from the War Department, President Trump will order air, sea, and land attacks against the narcotics cartels in the following states of Mexico. And you see them all highlighted here. Of course, this has been on Telegram, so it's no big secret. And Trump has talked about starting attacks on the cartels soon, on land, sea, and air. He was on a press conference earlier today talking about this. He says, so if no success is perceived in weakening their criminal structures, he will order the total invasion of Mexico with a massive invasion force. The cartels will be destroyed, according to this report. So take it with a grain of salt. It's been on Telegram and Telegram only, but Trump has been saying it, so it's partially from the horse's mouth, too. So when is this going to occur? It could be any time, guys. Who knows at this point? Because everything is happening at once. Talk about everything speeding up, right? I mean, the days literally are speeding up, according to scientists. The days have actually gotten shorter. And so as we look, we'll take one last look here on my Telegram saved messages. It's pretty much the same stuff I was just showing you about the Kiev mayor urging residents to evacuate. And then I also had, here's a report about Russia joining the Chinese Iran warships for drills off South Africa and so on. Oh, last but not least, here we go. I don't think I've reported this to you as of yet. But there's been another letter going out to Postal Service employees, okay, saying that they are critical employees and that they are governed by federal law. And this kind of a letter has not gone out since the COVID-19 situation 5 years ago. Well, I guess almost 6 years ago now. Wow. Time flies, doesn't it? When you have all these crises going on at the same time. So they're saying that during large-scale emergencies, epidemics, hurricanes, civil unrest, etc., states and localities may issue curfew orders or other directives restricting travel and other commercial and personal activities. Many of these orders will explicitly exempt providers of essential services, like the Postal Service, but some do not. Even if a state or local action does not contain such an exemption, the Postal Service operations are governed by federal law. Therefore, we will continue to fulfill our public service mission by accepting and delivering mail and packages in accordance with federal law. Although postal employees are essential workers that may be exempt from state and local directives, any decision by the Postal Service to continue operations during an emergency must ensure operations can be conducted in a manner that protects the safety of our employees and the public. The Postal Service will continue working closely with federal, state, and local authorities to ensure that we are safely carrying out our mission during emergencies. And I'll let you read the rest on your own. I'll put that on the website at don'tspeaknews.com as well. So much to cover, guys. It's unreal. If I don't put it here in the saved messages part of my Telegram, I'd forget to report it to you. So it's a good thing I've been doing that here lately. Like I said, just a lot to cover, and I'm trying to keep these videos as short as possible, but it's been 20 minutes plus here lately, and that's really is cutting it short. So like I say, I'll keep my eyes on all this as much as possible. Been a lot going on here in the home front as well. So trying to balance it all out, you know what I mean? But anyway, I did put up a couple other posts here today at don'tspeaknews.com. For men shall be lovers of themselves. Everything we see going on in this country lately has been absolutely appalling, especially people's reactions to it. And so that's a video I put up about that. And then, of course, we talked about Trump's civil war beginning yesterday and how it mirrors the Dmitry Duduman prophecy. And so all of that and more you can find here at don'tspeaknews.com. And it's easy to navigate right here at the top. You've got tabs. And so if you want to subscribe or contact me, click on this tab. And then there's a box for you to subscribe in. And then there's also the email address, don'tspeaknews@protonmail. And then we have channel support. And we're definitely in need of your support. We are listener supported only. Click on that. And all the ways to support us are right here. Although we did get like $62 from Rumble here not too long ago, which was like the first time ever. So I think that was for a few months worth. I'm not sure. But it just happened to pop into my PayPal one day, but I was kind of surprised. So first time for everything, I guess. So if you want to support us, that tab is right here, and all the links to do so are right here. And then Rumble, BitChute, and Telegram right here. Click on that tab to find out and go to all the different places you can find us on the internet. And that's all we have because we've been kicked out of everywhere else. And so far, we've been able to stay where we are here on Telegram and the website and Substack for the health blog. I talk about health news we can't speak about anywhere else, especially on YouTube. Videos get flagged so quickly about anything natural health. It's amazing. So anyway, that's how you navigate the website, and that will be it for tonight. God bless, take care. Johnny Storm, Don't Speak News.